Hello everybody, I am going to be creating a mixed media tag for you today, and I have Abby.
Hi.
We are actually both sick. She's homesick from school. I caught whatever she has and I created this tag last night, and I have to do the voiceover for it, and she wanted to join me. So I am going to explain what I'm doing. So I have a Prima chipboard tag. These are the large tags, and I will have all of these supplies listed down below. So if you are wondering where to purchase something or more information on something, you can definitely take a look in the description box below. I know I'll have all the links to all the supplies. So I added a coat of white gesso and let that dry, and now I'm adding some white crackle paste. When I add the crackle paste, I like to do some thicker in some areas and some thinner in other areas. That way I have a variation with the cracks. So the thicker you put it on, the larger the cracks, and the thinner you put it on, the smaller the cracks. So I like a lot of variation with the cracks. All right, so after that dries completely, and you definitely want to let it dry on its own, I do tend to kind of speed it up just a little bit with my heat tool, but you really have to be careful. But it does do the best when you let it dry on its own. Anyway, so after that dries, I am going to be adding some light and fluffy paste. This is from the Crafter's Workshop, and the stencil is from Echo Park, I believe. And then after that dries, the Crafter's Workshop light and fluffy paste dries super fast, and so I was pretty much almost immediately able to add a little bit of white gesso on top of that. But I am sharing my cup I got from the San Diego Zoo. It has some little hippos in it. That's Abby's favorite cup, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so cute. All right, so I am going to add some India inks. I thought I'd break out my India inks. I don't play with them as much as I should. I love them. And I will have the links listed down below for these. I have two sets. I am using set 2, I believe. I think I mixed up the tops of them, so I can't remember exactly, but there's 2 different sets. I love all of the colors, and I have a video where I swatched them out, and I go over kind of the different properties and different things that you can do with them in a different video, and I will have that linked in the upper right hand corner. They're really neat because you can watercolor with them, but once they're dry, they are permanent, which I really like because you can layer different colors on top and just do really cool things with them. All right, so I added a little bit of water, let that kind of do its thing, tilted it back and forth and side to side, and let it kind of flow where it wanted to. And then I'm going to add a little bit more color here, and I'm using like the teals and the aquas, and just kind of get some color in the background. And you could see I'm going to add a little bit of water with my spray bottle here in just a second, just to get that ink flowing a little bit. And you do have a pretty good working time. Like, it doesn't dry super fast, although you do want to work a little bit fast because it does dry not as fast as like alcohol ink, but not as slow as, say, like Color Bloom sprays. So kind of you have to work a little bit fast. All right, now I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. This is, I believe, yellow ochre. Let me see if I have the bottle's over there. But I had done a Facebook Live over on my workshop Facebook page, and these are the colors that I used on kind of like just, I was playing around and just kind of showing some different techniques and different things, and these are the colors that I used, and I really liked them together, so I just decided to do this tag that way. Sorry, Abby is she says, "Can I talk?" What do you want to say, Abby?
those colors are really pretty, and I like them because it looks kind of, you know, those little stickers with, and they're kind of like the mermaid stickers. It kind of looks like that.
Reminds you of mermaids. Yeah. All right, so I am taking a paper towel and I had wet it just a tad, and I'm kind of blotting up a little bit of that color, kind of blending it out a little bit and removing some of the color, and then I'll go back in where I want more concentrated color, and then I'll add more of that yellow, and then I'll add a little bit of water here to get it kind of flowing. And I dried the blues before I added the yellow. That way they were not mixing together too much. They were not dry 100%, but pretty much completely dry, and then that way I wasn't getting too much green. I wanted the blue and then the yellow. All right, so after that dried, I am now taking a Finnabair stamp and some Stazon ink. The Stazon ink is waterproof, and I wasn't sure if I was going to add more color or anything on top of it, so I wanted to use a ink that wouldn't you know, bleed or mix in with any of the colors that I was going to add. And that dries basically almost instantly. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking some gesso, and I have my heat tool out, as you can see. So what I do is I take my heat tool and I dry the gesso as I'm putting it on. That way it gets a little bit tacky, and it helps it kind of adhere a little bit thicker, and you don't have to do too many coats. And I just like it a little bit better than just doing it without the heat tool. Like I said, it just makes it a little bit tacky and kind of creates a little bit different texture, and it helps it adhere better, I guess. That's why I like to do that. But you do want to be careful. Somebody had told me that they melted their paintbrush bristles, which you don't want to do that. So you definitely do have to be a little bit careful. I've never done that, but just beware of that. You can do that, obviously. All right, so I wanted a little bit more of the Crackle paste on here, so I'm going to add a little bit of that, just kind of randomly in the areas that I felt I wanted it. And then after that dried completely, I'm going back in with some more India inks, and I wanted a little bit more blue. A lot of the background is going to be covered up, but like any other of my projects, I always say this, that each layer that you add to your project, it definitely helps in the end result, even if you feel like you covered everything up, or you know, whatever. It helps. Even the stamping, the paste, the Crackle paste, the gesso, the inks, everything, it all helps with the look of the end result of your project. All right, so now I am going in with some more gesso, and I wanted it to be a little bit more toned down in some areas. So what I'm doing is I added it pretty thick, and then I take a wet paper towel, or you can use a baby wipe, and I'm kind of blotting it off. And I'm just kind of blending out that gesso so that it kind of flows really nicely with the colors. And I'll continue to do this. And you probably can hear Abby drawing. She is drawing a catacorn, or a unikitty, as she likes to call them. And it looks really cute. If I can remember to post a picture, I'll post a picture at the end of this video for you guys to see. She is a very good artist. So anyways, I am now going to embellish and add all of my more textures and all that sort of thing. So I have some, I think this is like one of those dollar doilies that you get at Michael's, and I had cut it up, and I'm just gonna add it for some texture. So I added a little bit behind the frame, and then I'm gonna add a little bit on top of the frame, like I said, just to add more texture and interest to the project. This is definitely I add a lot of embellishments to this tag. I think it's because I haven't really been creating much lately, so I just was kind of overloading one project with a bunch of different things. But all right, so I have some things that I have had in my stash. I talk about a bin that I have with like extra little buttons and screws and different embellishments that I put in this bin, and that is where I got all of these little pieces. I have some chipboard pieces here. I have some old Prima junkyard findings, embellishments, and just different things. And I also have in there like these vellum stamped flowers that I cut out for different projects that I ended up not using. Just all sorts of different things, just to show you guys that you don't have to have new for everything. These are just, you know, kind of things that are extra, and you could definitely use even more cost-effective things like paper clips, soda cap, what am I trying to say? Soda can lid things, and just all sorts of different things to add different textures and dimension and interest to your projects. All right, so I have these stem flowers, which are my favorite, and I wanted to enhance the yellow that I had put in the background. So the flowers are all going to be yellow or white, and then I'm going to add some more just kind of random things here and there. As you can see, I added some metal pieces, I add more flowers, and then I also have some of the IOD clay molds that I talk about how I do them a bunch at a time, and then I have them just kind of in my stash ready to go when I want to use them. And I have some, I think I said some junkyard findings, and that is a mechanicals from Finnabair, and the glue I'm using is Fabri-Tac. It's my favorite, and I just continue to add just different elements and embellishments here and there. And then now I'm going to go in with some white splatters, and this is just some gesso watered down, and it just kind of ties everything together and just makes everything flow really nicely together. And I think that is going to complete the project. What do you think about it, Abby? You like the tag? It's pretty. Yeah? Yeah. All right, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Here is a couple pictures of the project, and then you will see a couple videos that you might enjoy. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, right? Yeah. Give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.